before even all that, for your immune system, there's a number of like foundational things you do as a lifestyle to make sure that you have a strong terrain. So again, when you get exposed, you can fight it off. Sleep. Yeah. Something as simple as sleep. When you go to bed at night and you move through the different hours, when you get into the deeper stages of sleep, which require you sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours, that is when your immune system is totally ramped up.
Welcome to the Let's Not Sugarcoat It podcast, a podcast about the real, raw, and unfiltered side of motherhood. We're your hosts, Alex and Bella. Let's get into it, ladies. Okay, well, let's get into it. We have Dr. Brett back in studio for our for a male voice perspective. Whoops. You know, the Tourette's comes out. So if you guys don't remember from our other episode, Dr. Brett Phillips is a naturopathic doctor for the last 15 years. Is it 16 now?
Yeah,
could be. He lives in Kelowna with his 4 children, Maximus, Theodore, Athena, and Atticus. I love those names.
I know. I was going to say, we said this last time.
I know. It was amazing. His naturopathic practice is a holistic approach of mind, body, spirit, and spirit medicine. He treats all ages and all concerns using education, knowledge as a tool to fuel change. He believes, oh my God, today I think it is the mimosas that is giving me the speech impediment. He believes your quality of life is a product of who you hang out with. So true. And your daily habits. He teaches the foundations of healthy diet, daily exercise, living mindful living mindfully. There's a comma in there that shouldn't be in there. Okay, that's why I'm so confused. And getting restful sleep. Along with that, he implements various biohacks in his clinics, such as IV therapy, regenerative injection therapies, supplements, and herbal medicines, traditional Chinese medicine, and acupuncture, as well as naturopathic adjustments similar to that of a chiropractor. I still need to get one of those because I do have a chiropractor and I don't know. He himself embodies these practices as he believes leading by example for his family. Oh, don't choke on the mimosas. His patients and his community.
So thank you very much.
When Brett
welcome back. Yeah.
When he came in, his glass had a lot of orange juice, very little champagne, and Bella taught him how it was done right. So just trust on that.
Yeah, well, you know, a mimosa is 3/4 of the champagne
just
and then a titch of orange juice. Otherwise, it's just orange juice. So thank you for coming back. We are so excited to have you in the studio again with these mimosas on an empty stomach. So let's get into it.
Well, thank you for having me. I had such a great time last time that I was just waiting for the invitation back.
Yeah, I think you just invited yourself. Every time I was coming in, he's like, so when are we doing this again? No, but you did have a lot of, wisdom and knowledge, and we do love a male perspective. Yeah. So we do appreciate you coming in and giving the male voice, I guess, to our listeners. So today we're talking about changing of seasons, immune system, detoxification, cleansing of summer, which we all need. And maybe possibly chronic pain. We'll see how it all
sometimes we squirrel,
sometimes we don't. But yeah, let's talk about a bit of I am totally, because right now it's school season. People are getting sick. All the talks about masks and everything's coming back. How to boost your immune system, and then how to detoxify the summer. Because I know I've been coming to you and getting the injections. Everybody's like, what are you getting in there? I'm like, I don't know. It's a cocktail. And my pee is like super neon for the next 2 days. And it smells like vitamin B. It's very potent. So please don't come after me.
So don't come over.
Don't come over because,
but you look great.
She does.
Thanks. Yeah, I try, But the detox is working. I do feel better. Everybody's sick around me right now. But I feel like drinking orange juice and a bit of champagne with the vitamin C.
Well, here's the thing, and this is the thing that a lot of people maybe get wrong, is that they think just getting exposed to the virus, the bacteria, the cold is the problem. But really, it's the terrain of the body which determines if you get sick or not.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, I'm in a medical office all day, every day, exposed every day to colds, and I'm not sick all the time.
Yeah.
Right? If it was the case of exposure, I'd be sick all the time. But it's the case of your terrain, your body. Is your body equipped with the barriers and the immune system and the defense system to fight off what's getting exposed? Because the reality is we're getting exposed to stuff every day, all day long. But if our defense systems are strong, it doesn't manifest, doesn't build into what we call a cold.
Right.
Yeah. I do have a regimen. Like I do when school starts, I up my vitamin D.
Right.
Yeah, vitamin D so I am not a doctor, so don't take this and don't do whatever.
I'll concur.
Advise your medical professional, but this is just what I do. So usually anywhere from 5 to 10,000 vitamin D, because when the kids are coming in of school, you need to boost your immune system. Plus, it gets colder and darker, everything changes. And then I do about 2,000-3,000 vitamin C, and then I do zinc as
Very
well.
good.
So that's my combo for battling the fall immunity.
Do you see a naturopathic doctor?
I do.
Oh, and that's his name.
I don't know. I think it starts with a B.
You know what? Well, you're right. So vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin, right? So most of us get it from the sunshine, but living above the 49th parallel, and definitely in this season, and then definitely living in the Okanagan when we start getting that sort of cloud cover inversion, we don't get enough of that sort of UV length to create the vitamin D.
Yeah.
And vitamin D, which is one of the most well-researched, vitamins out there with regards to immune function, every single cell in your body that is an immune cell has vitamin D receptors on it.
Huh.
And it's part of what feeds it so it can divide and build this army, right?
Right.
Plus, vitamin D also plays a huge role in dopamine and synthesis in the brain and feeling good. And when we feel good and we're in a happy, what I call rest, repair, relax, digest state, our body's immune system is also much stronger versus being in that fight or flight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So vitamin D is important. And what I find with vitamin D is that we are chronically deficient. I test all the time people's vitamin D, summer and winter. And even in the summer, I find a lot of people have a low vitamin D. So what I used to do when I first started practicing was give 1,000 IUs, which was the standard regular dose, every day. That's what I told was a good dose. And then as I matured and got older and, took more conferences and then eventually met this wonderful doctor who mentored me a little bit, he said, no, Dr. Brett. He's like 10,000. And so I started giving out 10,000 IUs every day during the winter.
Right.
Oh my goodness. People just got so much better and so much happier and so much stronger. I couldn't even believe it. And then when the season would change, the lineup outside the door to come get the 10,000 vitamin D was shocking.
Yeah.
And if I see, often I'll do it orally, but I also can do it as an injection. So if I see people really low, we'll do some injections of vitamin D to get people up.
Right.
And again, the change is incredible. And it's it's some of the things with vitamin C, let's say, which is also very important for the immune system. When you start taking it, you don't necessarily feel it.
Yeah.
Vitamin D, when you are low, you feel it in your mood. When you are high, you feel it in your good mood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a really, vitamin D is important.
I think it's so true.
I started taking it because I was diagnosed with SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And, they put me on medication, but then I saw, not you, but I had a naturopathic doctor in Edmonton, and she said, no, we need to get you off this med and just go 10,000. Is it IUs?
IUs,
yeah.
IUs. I always want to say IUDs, but it's not.
Different
IUs. And then, up your vitamin C throughout the day, not all at once, because you do pee it out. And then the zinc. And it changed everything. And even with my children during the winter, I know they say 800. I give them 3,000. And when they're sick, I give them 5,000. And it's been working for them. They're really healthy children. They don't get sick very often. And when they do, they recover quite quickly.
Yeah.
So it's because I am on top of the vitamin D is so
building your immune system.
important. And I do find too, like in the summer, I think we don't get as much of the D because we are constantly sunscreening.
That's right.
All the time. I don't think I have a deficiency because I was working the boat whatever. And I think I just got my extra tan in Vegas.
Yeah.
By burn. But yeah, no, I do agree with.
Another interesting thing to note is like with vitamin D. So you can take 1,000 or you can take 10,000 and basically you're going to absorb it all at once. You don't lose much of it.
Okay.
But with the vitamin C, when you said you take 2,000 to 3,000, an important thing for people to know is that your body can only absorb between 500 to 1,000 at one moment before the receptors get absorbed, right?
Yeah.
So you got to divide it. So it'd be like 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 at lunch, 1,000 in the evening.
Yeah, that's what
that makes sense.
We used to take all of it at once. Like my husband does it all the time. I got one time, I'm like, what? He has this thing of all vitamins and he's able to pop him and then have a water and he's fine. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to do that too. So then I don't have to spread this thing out. I got so sick. I was driving. I got nauseous. I puked all over myself.
We call that bowel tolerance.
I cannot. So now I spread the vitamin D. I get the quick dissolve under the tongue. It's easier so that I'm not swallowing. I'm not a pill popper per se. It's hard for me to take pills. But yeah, anything that can be dissolved or the droppers.
The drop. The drop.
The other thing that's important for people to know or to understand too is like definitely those three vitamins and mineral are good to take when you get sick. But actually, as you said, if you start taking them before you get sick, then it'll do a lot of prevention too, right? Because again, it's upregulating and supporting a strong army.
Yeah.
Because with the immune system, when you're born into the world, provided your mom breastfeeds you on that day 1 and 2, that first bit of milk called colostrum, I guess, that comes out of the breast is full of the mom's immune system. Giving the baby all this pre-information on helping it deal with the world.
Yeah.
But after that, everything that the baby gets exposed to in the infant and the young child and adult is like exposure for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you fight off that infection, you then shrink down and build this like you build this army to fight it off, provided you win, you're still alive. It then shrinks down into a little army that sits in your body forever. Memory cells that then are like a SWAT team waiting for that exposure again, right? And then that way, if that virus comes along again, you might not even know that you get exposed to it because the SWAT team gets there and fights it off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think viruses are so interesting too. Like, I know that during, say, like, you're saying like it's a little army, right? Like I know in the H1N1 that the old people who had been through like the Great Plague or whatever it was at a certain time in the 20s or whatever, who were still alive, a lot of them weren't dying, where people who were older were dying. It was because they were exposed to like a different strain, but still the same virus.
Well, and this was the whole like sort of discussion about natural immunity, right? Because when you build natural immunity, these immune cells that are out there, they not only build one exposure to that one variant, but they already like think ahead and they start building all these different potential variants that could happen,
right?
Which gives you a more robust immune system.
Yeah.
Right? For me, I caught COVID at the beginning of COVID. It was friggin' horrible. I felt like I was going to die for 10 days.
Yeah.
I stayed home, did all the things. Guess what? I haven't been sick since.
Yeah.
Since COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a little cold here or there, but like for a guy that's working in a clinic all day long, every day.
I weathered COVID pretty well.
You did till like the end.
I didn't get it. Because I was on top of like my vitamins and like we're pretty good at naturally boosting our immune system as a family. But yeah, I ended up going to the hospital for a procedure and that's where I caught COVID. I thought I was having complications after the procedure, but it was just COVID. I felt fatigued. I felt tired. I didn't have the symptoms. I did test and I'm like, oh shit, I have COVID. Right. It's not the procedure, it's the COVID. But yeah, I weathered it fairly well. And so did everybody in my family. The only person that didn't have COVID is my husband. out of and he came into like a household full of everybody having COVID.
Right.
But because I feel like we're like healthy, we eat healthy, and we're on top of my cocktail, which is the vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc, and higher doses, that we're able to weather a lot of the things much better than we did when my kids were younger. Oh my God, they tried to kill us. I swear to God, these children tried to put me into my grave.
Every day a different germ.
I've never been so sick in my life for the first 2 years of them. And then when they started kindergarten.
Oh, gross. Yeah, totally.
Oh my God.
You know what? And here's the thing too, is getting sick is not a bad thing. It's a normal part of life.
Yeah.
Right? And actually, as you're going through life and you're younger coming up and you're getting exposed to these things and getting sick, it's like you're continuously updating your antivirus system.
Yeah.
Right.
Building more of these SWAT teams, more of these armies. So when you do get older and you get exposed again, to your point about the H1N1 and the older folks, is when you're 60, 70, 80 years old and you now get exposed to, say, COVID or something, well, you already got the SWAT team. Yeah. So you breeze through it. If you're someone that maybe didn't get exposed or... then what happens is you get exposed when you're old and weak and, see you later, maybe alligator.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I do believe kids need to be exposed to different things in their early years. You know, like I had
chickenpox parties. Remember those?
Yeah. And now chickenpox is like a vaccine.
Yeah. Which is wild because, again, when you get exposed to chickenpox naturally, again, when you build these natural SWAT teams, you never have to worry about it again.
Except actually chickenpox, now that I think about it. Chickenpox, you only get shingles, which does suck ass if you have chickenpox.
Yeah, which everybody kind of does.
Yeah, because I had chickenpox in Poland. I remember like the dots everywhere that we had to put the green. But I mean, I've been exposed to a lot of things in Poland. Even like Chernobyl when we had to drink iodine. Because we had the nuclear cloud come over, and
so crazy.
Yeah, I remember us you have certain memories that stay with you as a child, and you were in preschool or kindergarten, whatever, and we were all lining up. I remember there was only one spoon. There wasn't multiple spoons. Okay, there's not.
That was boosting your immune system.
That was totally boosting. We were all sharing our germs, and then it was like every morning it was like a spoonful of iodine into the kid's mouth, and that's how we kind of escape this nuclear cloud. I don't know, because I do feel like we do have, I'm not sure if I'm gonna say that's why I had fertility issues, but a lot of my family does have issues with fertility. It could be just the food that we're eating now too. There's a lot of crap in there. But it's just like you never know what we're exposed to.
With fertility, I also believe our exposure to a lot of these like pesticides and parabens and plastics have a huge effect on what's going on in the whole fertility world. Because they're xenoestrogens, right? Like they really are. A lot of it looks like hormones.
Yeah. I do. I did listen to a podcast. I do listen to Dark History by Bailey Sarian. And she talks, if you ever want to know about a lot of like the history of the companies like Monsanto and the birth control pill and all the other experiments, the pesticide, everything that went and is going into our bodies.
It's wild.
It is crazy.
I had a patient when I first started practicing years ago, and he's now passed away. He was on the board for designing the Canadian food pyramid back in the day. Okay. And if you remember, if you did not eat dairy, you were not going to have bones or teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And he shared with me that very much that pyramid was based on dollars and lobbying.
Of course. 100%. The milk industry is
And if you look today, it's now a circle. And there's no such thing as dairy.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Now we don't need it. We're
bones are going to stay in now.
Right?
Yeah. No, but I do. Like, there's a thing about milk. I don't drink milk. I used to anyways. Like in Poland, we had the cow. There was no pasteurization. You milked the cow.
Milk, yeah.
I love that.
Right?
It's like a grandparent era that she
If you're going to do milk, you need to milk that
You
cow.
gotta milk it. You have the hay and all that shit that's in your bucket, whatever. You sift it through the little sifter thing, and then off you go.
Live milk. Live milk.
Right?
live bacteria.
But yeah, so you drank that kind of milk. It wasn't pasteurized. It wasn't what it is today. It wasn't 3%, 2%, 0%. That was like, you drank that. But then as I grew and did my own research and studies, I just, the thought of, we're the only species that drinks milk past our childbirth.
Another animals.
Milk. Yeah, milk. It is fucking disgusting. I do drink almond milk, and I know the milk industry is all huffy and puffy because we call it milk. It's not. It's almond water, whatever. But there's something that grosses me out. It's not that I don't eat cheese. Like, I'm not a big cheese person, but I will eat cheese, even though it is a product of,
dairy.
like dairy. I do eat butter and stuff like that. But it's just like the thought of drinking milk just grosses me out.
Right. On that note, and tying it back to the immune system. So I was born in the prairies, Saskatchewan, and we grew up with milk. Yeah. Like, it was like milk in your cereal, big glass of milk at dinner, like milk. I literally had the biggest tonsils out of anybody. And the tonsils, just so everyone knows, is an immune system organ. They're like a lymph node. So they're there every time you eat something, food and stuff is rubbing past those little tonsils to let the body know what's entering into the absorption areas of the body. Because you need to remember, because you put something in your mouth does not make it a part of you.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Because you swallow it, you are not it. If you swallow a marble, you are not part marble. That marble is traveling through the tube. You're like a donut, right? Yeah. So the gut is besides your skin, your gut is the biggest exposure to the outside world.
Right.
Meaning it has an opportunity to get into the body and then affect cellular function. So your biggest immune system is in your gut. And then the first one is your tonsils. And so you see all these kids, what they used to do is remove tonsils.
Right.
Right? Remove this defense organ system that alerts the rest of the body that something good is not coming in.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I had lots of tonsillitis, lots of sore throats, lots of strep.
Yeah, me too.
Right? But my parents weren't really into surgeries and removing body parts, in their children. Thank you, mom and dad.
Yeah.
And so as I got older and I started learning about dairy and its effect on the immune system, I cut it out. And I have not had a sore tonsil since the day I cut out dairy 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I was chronically plagued with it.
Interesting.
And so now I've treated lots of people and lots of families. And, my first thing is like, before we do anything, big and crazy in the practice, let's start with taking out dairy.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 times tonsillitis goes away.
Yeah.
I still use it in my coffee.
And nothing like
I used to that's the thing is like I could not have a cappuccino with almond milk. It was like because we were so used to milk. But then once a shift happened long time ago, I can't like
you can't
even
go back.
I can't even if I accidentally don't say, hey, give me a matcha latte.
You gave me your matcha.
Yeah. I could not do the milk. It just there's just
do we know about chocolate milk? No, let's not go there.
Chocolate milk, I don't know. We do cacao with water, or I do almond chocolate milk. So
so this topic, topic and related to the immune system wants me to bring us back because we jumped into talking about vitamins and supplements, but before even all that, for your immune system, there's a number of like foundational things you do as a lifestyle to make sure that you have a strong terrain. So again, when you get exposed, you can fight it off. Sleep. Yeah. Something as simple as sleep. When you go to bed at night and you move through the different hours, when you get into the deeper stages of sleep, which require you sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours, that is when your immune system is totally ramped up. And throughout your body, the immune system is doing a check and balance where it's looking for things that have gotten into it and cleaning it up. So again, you may get exposed one day. You don't know it. As long as you get a good sleep, your body cleans it up by morning and you just keep going on.
Right.
But if you're, again, stressed out, not sleeping, staying up late, watching TV.
Or getting injections in your knee and can't sleep because the dream thing came. No, because
hold on a second here.
Because the numbness has worn off.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But you're right. Like sleep is a huge part of having a strong immune system and doing well. And that's why if you think about it in the winter, it's darker, which means really if we're following the seasons, you're supposed to sleep more, right?
Yeah.
So even though we're exposed maybe more, if we're following kind of the sleep patterns of the winter,
we should hibernate more.
We should go to bed at 7. I do go back. No, good. I do. No, seriously. Yeah. I do like 9:30, 10 o'clock is my bedtime.
It's a good time.
Doesn't matter when, but I am up, 5:30-ish.
Yeah.
So I do find that a cycle when you're on a, not pattern. What is,
routine.
Thank you. It's hard for me to think of routine because I'm not a routine person, but the sleep, it's like, I do, like when we go out and we're going to go out later, I do feel like I need to have a coffee at like 6 p.m. because I know by 10 o'clock, after having a glass of wine, I'm going to be ready for bed out. I'm going to go home, right? Yeah. So if I want to stay out a little bit longer, then I do need to have that caffeine. I don't actually drink coffee.
I would say coffee is the least of the bad things that you could do to stay up in the evening. So you're doing good.
So that's good.
I actually don't drink. I like the taste of coffee. I do decaf. Decaf. I don't do caffeinated. Only when I
went out with my son for his 20th birthday this weekend. Before we left the house at 8 o'clock, I had a double, triple espresso. Yeah. We're doing this.
Yeah.
I saw, didn't you have him in for like some vitamin shots the next day? I saw your stories. Yeah.
Well, that's good dad right there. That's like me cleansing after Vegas. I came in, we came in Monday night. We almost died on that airplane ride. It was so bad. I was
turbulent?
sick. The turbulent for 10 minutes. We were on a freaking roller coaster ride. When I got off, I was sick to my stomach for about half hour, 40 minutes after that. I'm like, oh my God. I almost turned on my phone and called my mom to be like, Mom, I don't think we're going to make it. Tell the kids I love them.
No, it's true. The lady behind me was like, we're going to die. We're going to die. And it was like, it was trying to land and it looked like we were not going to land on a tarmac. It was so scary. Wow. And he was going down and he tried to land so many times.
Yeah. Tried to land and then we took that off. And
no, he didn't take off, but it's like, just because and then we smashed hard. Down. But
I had that once happen to me on a flight back from Maui.
Yeah.
But I just slept through the whole thing. I woke up, why is everyone
yelling?
Everyone's like, looks worried.
And there was this kid screaming and everybody else was quiet because we were all quiet. Like, we're dying.
They're like, sir, you snored through the whole thing.
The guy behind me was holding on to my seat. I was going like, holy fuck.
It was scary.
But it was
but
scary.
We survived.
Yeah, but yes, you can fill me up there. Top me up here because we're 3/4 champagne and 25%. Yeah. Orange juice for the vitamin C that we're gonna pee out in less than 12 hours.
So sleep is super important, right? Like we can't negate that. Like you sleep well, you're doing I think half the battle.
Yeah.
The other one would be is managing stress properly.
Yeah.
Right. Again, when your body is in the fight or flight state, which can be, triggered by something physical, it can also be probably more psychological, worrying, right? Your body only has so much energy, so much blood flow, and has to put it into what's going on in its environment, or it's exposed environment. So, it will shunt it from what's called your fight or flight, which is your muscles and your lungs and your heart to fight or run away from, say, the bear or the exposed threat, to when you're in a calm, relaxed state, your digestive tract, your immune system, your reproductive system, your sleep system. So a lot of people aren't aware that all of our systems aren't running at full capacity at once.
Right.
So the body, again, has to decide where to put it.
Yeah.
So when you're in fight or flight, You are not worried about fighting off a virus. You're worried about running away from the bear.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just having that knowledge for me and then learning simple tools like belly breathing, drinking calming tea, positive self-talk and affirmations allowed me to realize, hey, why am I worried about these fictitious possibilities that are probably not going to happen?
Yeah.
Or this thing that's in the future that I'm already planning for.
Yeah, you can't control it.
I can't control the outcome, but I've planned.
Yeah.
So to ground myself back into the present moment so that I can have the best sleep possible, the strongest immune system possible, the best digestion of my nutrients if possible, so that I can face the world.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things that I find with the human condition of worrying is if you can actually take a step back from yourself and kind of view your thoughts, you realize that the bulk of the things that we are allowing control our mood are things that actually are never going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And that if we can sort of just, you know, view the possibilities once and then, you know, kind of go, hey, I don't have to worry about these ones.
Yeah.
And then do the best we can in the moment for the best outcome.
Yeah.
Accept it. We're in a much better state overall in our lives. But again, related to the immune system in a place where our bodies are just stronger.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I feel like as women, we do have a lot more in our heads and we do run a lot more stories and we do tend to worry a lot more. I found a new outlet is journaling. I always told my clients, journal. I never did it myself. I didn't believe it really worked, but because I was going through a hard time, still going through a bit of a time, I started to journal. And, you know, when I had my dreams in the middle of the night after your injections in my knee,
it's all your fault.
It's all your fault. I literally, it was 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, I need to get these thoughts out onto paper. And once I got them out on paper, they were out of my head on the paper and I went back to sleep to continue to have another devastating dream. But again, it was I was able to get myself back to sleep because, you know, I used to have a hard time falling asleep. It used to piss me off when my husband would he closed his eyes, hit the pillow, and he's snoring. And I just wanted to stab him because I was like, how dare you sleep when I cannot sleep?
When
you know,
my brain will not shut up.
Yeah. But I learned coping mechanisms, how to, you know, get into that. And then the routine really helped going to bed. I think children helped a lot because I needed to get on a schedule because they were, you know, up and whatever. But now I am able to fall asleep even when there's shit that's happening in my life. I am now discovering, when I discovered tapping, now I'm discovering journaling. Tapping really helped. And now just getting those thoughts onto paper and out of the head. Oh my God. 3:30 in the morning.
Two thoughts on that. One, I think the routine thing is really important. And routine doesn't mean just time. I think, what are you doing for that hour leading up to bed?
Yeah.
Right? So again,
Watching Too Hot to Handle.
Right? Which may or may not be the right choice. You know, but I think you have
It's the mindless. I love it. It's the best thing because then I don't have to think about it. Anything else is But anyways.
But so what I suggest for a lot of people is a warm bath with Epsom salts. Right? Light candle. Have a mantra that you repeat to yourself. I sleep really well, but if I know I'm going to have a hard time, I just lay in bed and I repeat deep sleep, belly breathing, right? And then if I have a lot of those thoughts coming in, either journaling them out, writing it out. And the important thing for a lot of people to understand too is it's not about keeping the journal. Yeah. You could literally write those thoughts out and then burn the piece of paper. Yeah. Some people are worried to write it out because they don't want people seeing it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not like that. Burn it after. But there's something about taking it out of the metaphysical and putting it into the physical that allows you to purge it out of the mind. Sometimes if you don't have that ability to say, turn on the lights and write it down or whatever, I also will pretend there's an imaginary lockbox or a treasure chest that I can put it in the chest. Yeah. And I tell myself, tomorrow at 7:00,
I'll look at it.
I can open it up again and think about it. But what I know is trying to solve the world's problems on these issues tonight while I sleep will solve nothing, but actually make me lesser ability tomorrow to solve the problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Powerful stuff. Yeah.
The other
100%.
the other big lifestyle one would be exercise.
Yeah.
Right? Exercising yourself. And when you exercise, you naturally build different endorphins, decathlons, and hormones like testosterone, which are anabolic, which are regenerative, that are telling your cells to grow. So again, when you're trying to grow a strong immune system, if you're exercising regularly, which puts you into like, again, a calm, happy state of being, parasympathetic.
Yeah.
And you're upregulating your anabolic sort of hormone levels, your ability, again, to clean up and fight off infections is amplified.
I do feel better when I go exercise. I go, oxygen yoga for the boot camp in the morning, 6 a.m. After that, my whole day feels different. It totally feels different. There are times I need more of a yoga stretch thing. And because of my knee, I've been, modifying a lot, but I do feel like, the weight training, the physical, the sweating, the infrared is so good for me. And I do feel different when I go regularly. I try to go, 3 to 5 times a week. But when I don't, I do definitely feel it. Not just like physically, emotionally, I feel in my body. Like,
on that, the lymphatic system, right? Which is a lot of people, when they go through school, they don't learn about the lymphatic system. Right? Has anyone ever heard of the lymphatic heart?
No.
Negative. Trick question, right? Because there is not a lymphatic heart. So our cardiovascular system, which has this heart that's pumping and pushing it through this highway of tubes, the vasculature. The lymphatic system doesn't have that, but it is a tubular system, which is every single place that your cardiovascular system is. The way it works is by movement. So when your body moves and a muscle contracts, it squeezes the tube. And there's these one-way valves that push it along its path.
Right.
So being active and moving gets the lymphatic system draining. Things like infrared gets the lymphatic system moving. Different types of massage therapies, dry skin brushing, red saunas. All these things get your lymphatic system draining, right? And what happens is that is what's moving it through these pathways that then expose it to the lymph nodes, which is where those little SWAT teams are living. And again, if you've been a good kid and you've been exposed to lots of things, you have lots of armies and you clean it up, right? So that's why exercise is important. And it doesn't always have to be going to the gym and lifting weights, but even just do like yoga, stretching like that in yoga is very much a powerful lymphatic movement process, right? Getting things draining and moving. And this is a really, really important fact that I want to share because a lot of people don't get this. Feed a fever, starve a cold. A fever in the body is not a bad thing.
Right.
A fever is your immune system
fighting.
Right.
It's a response. It is telling you to relax. It's telling you to stay home. It's telling you to stay in bed.
Go to sleep.
And when your body temperature rises, your immune system can build faster. It amplifies the regeneration of the immune system. And most bacteria and viruses do not like a higher body temperature. They like a lower body temperature. So feed a fever, grow your immune system.
Right.
And feed a fever, starve a cold. Stunt the bacteria or virus from growing. So a lot of us have a bit of a fever and think, oh no, we need to stop this. And they take Tylenol or something, right?
Right.
And then what you're inevitably doing is supporting the bacteria to live longer. You might feel a bit better because you're numbing your discomfort with a drug.
Right.
But you're actually inhibiting your body from getting over it faster. So you need to watch out for like grossly high fevers.
I was just going to say, because I did have a child who got, like, I did believe, like, don't give the kid fever medication right off the bat. But I did have one of my children when they were younger, I think like 2, almost non-responsive.
So,
right? She was like, whatever. So rushed to the hospital. Lee was away. My parents were at a party. I was home alone with twins. And, Kaylee's not like fully responding. So I rushed.
And and that's the right thing to do, right? Like,
but she was fine.
Right,
they gave her some Tylenol. And then she was okay.
She's
and I was like,
back.
They did a chest x-ray, which honestly has traumatized me of how they do x-rays for children.
It is.
They put them
crazy.
in between two boards.
Yeah.
So they're like this to do a chest x-ray because the kid, she was too little to sit up or whatever. And I like literally was
so traumatic.
It's so much trauma I need to release.
Yeah,
you know, but anyways, so fever.
I'm not a big fan of x-rays.
Yeah.
But so when I go to the dentist, I always refuse. My dentist was like, okay, it's been 12 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't had one toothache in 12 years. Like, I don't think I need it. And somehow I got convinced to like do an x-ray. Well, first off, I don't like it. Second, the first one she did some mistake and didn't get a good picture. So I got one dose. And then I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Don't do it again.
They did it again. And then she almost came in back like laughing, like, hey, see, I showed you there's a cavity here. And I'm like, well, it hasn't bugged me. And I'm here 12 years. Like, I don't think I'm going to deal with it. Like, are you just looking for pictures? But, you know, people don't understand is x-rays, though you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Just like pesticides and herbicides that you don't see, these things are cancer causing and actually hurt the body. So you want to be, you know, sometimes you have to look.
Yeah.
But you don't want to just be looking just to look all the time, right? Because you are getting exposed to radiation.
That's the thing. Sure, with the dentist, same thing. Like I just had my teeth done 2 years ago. I have Invisalign. So they did like a full-on scan. And they're like, well, you're due for x-rays. I'm like, but literally like I have no issues right now. Nothing's bothering me. But their argument is if we don't see it, it will cause something.
Right.
And when your teeth are not okay, it can cause a lot of other severe health
like
issues.
even heart or whatever.
Heart, you can,
I agree. But I'm also of the fact that like, okay, well, throw a bunch of x-rays through my face.
Yeah.
They want to do it so often. Like, and my mom was always, as a kid, one of those people who was like, the dentist, even when I was a teenager, they'd be like, oh, we should do an x-ray. And they would always be like, no, you got to call her mom. Like, otherwise she's going to freak.
They make me sign like something, make me feel guilty that I don't want to get my kids to get it. They're like, you have to sign these 4 documents if your kid is not getting an x-ray. I'm like,
I let them do it, but I don't let them do it often. Like if they're like, oh, it's been like 2 to 3 years, we want to do it. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But not, they want to do it every 6 freaking months.
Yeah. X-ray?
Yeah.
What? What kind of dentist
when they run out of the room and hide behind the left when they're taking the picture is a clue.
But I think x-rays have changed a little bit too now because they're not out of the room. They put the thing on you.
They're still out of the room.
No,
mine they put that little jacket
on you.
Yeah.
No, I don't have she comes in, she does like a bite something, and then she has like this like machine that like she holds it and she's there holding it and she goes click.
She's a rebel.
Oh, that's pretty good. I thought that was the picture one. I've done that one where they do the like around your head.
Take note. I don't think they're there. They set it up and they leave the room. I'm sure of it. But back to this fever. I just want to so one of my like home remedies, everybody listen up. That is like helped so many people countlessly kill a cold fast. Is part of the Feed a Fever Story cold. Get in the bathtub. Make it hot.
Hot.
Like uncomfortably hot. Don't burn yourself, but get it uncomfortably hot. Before you get in there, make a garlic, ginger, lemon tea. Take garlic. You must mince it to release the allanase, which is an enzyme that's in the cell of garlic that is very, very powerful. And it's what we call an antimicrobial.
Yeah.
I mean, antimicrobial means it kills bacteria, it kills viruses, it kills parasites, it kills fungus, it kills everything. And it boosts the immune system.
And it kills vampires.
And it's
You need a silver bullet for werewolves. So we'll talk about that
next week.
But you do that. That is the antimicrobial. Ginger is a diaphoretic, meaning it heats the body from the inside out. Feed a fever, starve a cold. And then a little bit of lemon you can put in there if you like, a little cayenne for a little extra heat. But you do that drink and you get in that bathtub and you heat it up for at least 15 minutes. Let your body sweat.
Yeah.
Then get out. Oh, I forgot something. Depending on where the cold is, if it's up in your face and you're really congested, you take some cotton white socks before that and you put them in ice water.
Okay.
Then you have this bath and it's called warming socks. And then you get out of the bath, wring out those cotton white socks, put on a sweatsuit, slip on the socks, which are cold, slip some wool socks over top, and go to bed. And somewhere in the middle of the night, you'll like wiggle those socks off. They'll be dry. You'll wiggle them off. But what happens is, remember at the beginning when I said there's only so much blood flow somewhere? that will cause all that congestion that's stuck up here come down to your feet.
Interesting.
Kind of open up all the pathways to allow, again, the immune system to come in there.
Interesting. I like it.
So
I'm totally going to try that next time.
Yeah, it works great, especially like for upper congestion type stuff or lung stuff. It's like people think I'm crazy when I'm telling them. And then they come back and they're giddy and laughing, kissing and hugging me. Hey, oh, Dr. Pat, you're so
You actually know what you're talking about. My ex-mother-in-law or former mother-in-law, she was obsessed with telling people always when they had a cold, like, you got to have minced garlic and do this. And she never got sick. Like, she was always like, if she had a bit of a cold, she worked with like 30 little preschool children all the time. She'd like just get her garlic going. Everyone was sick of her hearing of it, but she was on it.
Yeah. And you know what? It's like, it's old wisdom. It's plant medicine. It's like nature giving you a gift.
Yeah, in Poland, like that's the thing. It's like we had hot milk with garlic in there, right? And we would be forced to go into bed with 5,000 blankets on top of us to sweat it out.
Right.
That was the sweating out. So I still sweat. I'm like, okay, when the family's sick, I make them sweat it out because that's my
starve a cold.
Right. And then same for like a cough. There's a thing where we take onion, we chop it up, we put sugar, and then we let it rest for 24 hours. And then the juice from the onion is what helps with the cough. And
I heard about that one.
Yeah. So that's our, cool. So we have the onion and garlic. Yeah. I mean, we smell so great.
She's like, I have a cold, stay away for 5 days.
You know what happens is most people who do the tea, they actually end up doing it all day long. Like a lot of people say, we'll start making it. And they go, you know what? I don't care what I smell like. It is so good, Dr. Brad. Like, and because at first they're like, what? Drinking garlic?
Yeah.
But it's like, you know how, like, let's say wine. When you first tried wine as a kid, you're like, oh my God, how would you ever drink this?
Yeah.
But what it is there's a physiological effect that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Same thing with garlic, ginger, lemon tea.
Yeah.
It doesn't initially taste great. But when you start noticing like your body feels stronger and more healthy and clear when you get sick, it becomes a part of your staple. You're like, I don't care what I smell like. I feel great.
I feel great.
I have a hard time digesting like garlic. It's even if I have like garlic shrimp, 2 days later, I'm still like feeling like it's coming out of my pores. It's coming out of my mouth.
There is in the liver, there's a sulfur, because garlic sulfur building pathway where sometimes people's just a little bit weak and that can happen. Molybdenum is a mineral that you don't find out there very often, is usually what you could take to help with that.
Because that's the big one for me with garlic.
I'll send you the bill.
I try, right? I gotta get a third job.
She's gotta get another job. The papers are right here. Holy crap!
Thank you very much.
So I think on that note, it is time.
Is it time? Can I ask one quick question?
Yeah, of course.
I'm interested about magnesium, like because I heard that women are often low on magnesium. Is this just true? Or
you know what? Everybody's low on magnesium.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very common thing to be low on. It's a powerful mineral that's involved in a lot of different pathways. I suggest to people to take magnesium at night. And if you have some sleep issues,
I've heard this.
Magnesium helps to just relax the whole body and again, put you into that state of deeper sleep. And, you know, before melatonin, before like passion fruit or Viagra.
Viagra. I don't know Viagra is going to put you through Valeria.
I think it might keep you awake.
Valeria. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Was that a Freudian slip?
It's called a champagne strip. Strip. Damn it.
You guys were just in Vegas.
Okay, that was fun.
No, but the magnesium, calm, you know,
I know it.
Again, my husband had ticks all over, like you know how sometimes your eye
like tremor
kind of thing. He used to have them all over his legs. He's like just nonstop firing. And we went to our naturopath, and he's like, no, she's like, you need to do the magnesium. However, there is a warning. If you take too much magnesium, your bum is gonna be not happy with you.
Okay, good.
Those are pretty high doses, but
No, but I mean, if I took 2 scoops of magnesium, I would have the poops.
Right.
Like unbelievable. Like I just could not. So, you know.
Okay.
So just a warning for those who
take your garlic.
That's if too much vitamin C as well. That can happen.
Right.
Yeah. Bowel tolerance.
Yeah. So be gentle.
Be gentle with your magnesium.
And go gentle into the night when you're taking your magnesium. Start with 1 scoop, not 2.
Work your way up. Okay. Well, thanks for coming.
Wow. We just crushed that.
We didn't even get to any other topic.
No, detox. That's next time.
Next time.
We got to detox next time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for coming in. It's fun to have that male perspective.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Until next time.
Until next time. We'll make sure we have that male mic waiting for you.
Yeah,
this one's mine. Sorry, ladies. This one's mine.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening. Now we want to hear from you.
And don't forget to follow us at Let's Not Sugarcoat It Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.